Hi, Dr. Bob Pike here. I'm going to be taking a few minutes to explain the healthcare model that operates at the center of my clinic. The healthcare model is explained like this little diagram here. You can see that in our bodies we have a brain. That brain contains 100% of the potential that life wants to express into the body. The potential is expressed through the spinal cord, which connects the brain with 150 or so trillion cells in the body. These cells then spring to life. They come into life, full expression of life. The different expressions of life depend on the cell that we're talking about. Whether it could be a kidney cell, intestine function, it could be a cell controlling the lungs, the heart, the muscles. These different cells then the words that describe what they do when they are connected 100% with life. These words, ask yourself what these words would be. Number one word is function. There's 100% function. Number two, the person's experiencing health. 100% functions equals 100% health. The experience of that person inside their state of how they are feeling and how they are doing would be ease. That person's experiencing ease. Think of a baby when it's first born, a couple of months old, whatever. There's an experience, an obvious expression of joy and ease. The last, now, most people, if they're in that state, what would they say about how they feel? I'm going to use the word good. So put that word good right here. So we have a person who's functioning 100%, who's in a state of health, experiencing ease internally inside, and that they would tell people who ask them, how you doing? I feel good. So now let's look at what happens in the life, day-to-day life. There's different kinds of stress: physical stress, chemical stress, emotional or mental stress. And this stress affects the body. And specifically speaking, we're talking about the core. We're talking about the most important part of the body, which is the nervous system, which we're looking at here. The brain expressing impulses down through the spinal system into the cells. So what happens if we have a blockage right here in the upper spine, the most important part of the spine? In my opinion, this is the problem with many people who are experiencing the loss of health. What happens is we experience something along the terms of dysfunction. We experience ill health, and we experience dis-ease. And how's that person feeling at this point? So not so good. Now, this describes the majority of people that I meet in my practice. They're in a state of dysfunction, ill health, dis-ease, and they're not feeling so good. Now, let's look at the healthcare model. No, it's actually a sick care model that we're all paying our taxes to support. Now, when we experience these symptoms in the conventional, mechanistic healthcare model, what is the solution? And the solution in that model, let's call it the dis-ease model, the solution is usually a drug. Now that drug, I got to ask you, what is that drug targeting in this list? Is it targeting function, health, ease, or how the person feels? Most people who go to the doctor don't want to feel the way they're feeling, so the goal is to change the not so good feeling into feeling good. So if that's been accomplished, what about these other three areas? Those other three areas, have they been affected? Or do we still have a person who feels good with dis-ease, ill health, and dysfunction? That's the case in reality, and that's why drugs tend to be repeated or switched for a more potent drug or added to a number of drugs. And the solution in the chiropractic model is simply to correct this problem right here. We have a name for this syndrome. It's called subluxation. Subluxation is the cause, all of these dysfunctions and ill health and dis-ease and not feeling so good, these are all effects. Now effects, that's the second principle, isn't it? Cause. Every cause has its effect. So if you go to a chiropractor and the chiropractor using x-ray, or like in my office where I have digital equipment doing a surface electromyography or thermography or heart rate variability, and we're looking at the nervous system, if we see this subluxation, are we going to target the effects, or are we going to correct the subluxation, which is actually causing the interference, which blocks the signals which would normally cause the cells to function 100%? That's right. We're going to adjust the cause. And chiropractic adjustment eliminates this problem here and restores the normal two-way transmission between the brain and the body. And when that is corrected, the subluxation is eliminated, the original life impulse is restored, and the effects, how long does it take for the effects to disappear? That's right. You can't say, because every one of us is unique, and the process, that everything requires time, the third principle, everything requires time. That process is something that if you commit to that process, your life will change. It's guaranteed. The loss of the subluxation adds life, and if you add life, the body's designed to live, so the body doesn't need to learn how to live. The body just simply regains its innate ability to live. And when it regains that innate ability to live, a person doesn't need the medications. The person is experiencing what they came to experience, 100% life. I'm happy that you're here on our Facebook page. Please click up above there for the hot deal, so you can come in and see through these technologies I mentioned about your own brain-body connection. And I look forward to discussing the importance of this with you then. How's that sound? I think it sounds like a good idea. Until then, be well, stay healthy.